Good evening, everyone. Okay, welcome to the session. Thank you all for joining. First and foremost, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. Second, are you able to see my screen, which I'm sharing now?
Yes.
Yeah, visible.
Wonderful. Great. All right. Let's get started very quickly. I don't want to waste anyone's time. Time is precious and it's important for you as well as for me. So let's very quickly get started about financial reporting. All right. Before we get started, I would like to first have this specific mention is that I would like to be more interactive with you guys. Like I would like to know more about you. I want to have a personal connect with you, and then we will take it forward. Before we start the session, let me just very quickly, okay, let me just very quickly introduce about myself, okay. I'll introduce about myself, and then I will give you then I will let you know who am I, what am I doing here, and what are the subjects that I'm handling, etc. Okay, so my name is Prasanth Shankar. I'm a ACCA fellow member, okay. ACCA, I'm a fellow member. What does a fellow member mean? Does anyone know what is a fellow member means? Okay, Prasanna, you know what is a fellow member?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful.
Basically
All right.
FCCA, right?
Yes, I'm an FCCA. So what does FCCA mean? FCCA means that any
Who has 5 years, more than 5 years of experience in AC?
yes, wonderful. That's great. Thank you so much. Uh, that's great. So 5 years of work experience, right, is what stands out to be is FCCA. So which means after you are now an ACCA student, once you complete all the 13 papers, okay, once you complete the 13 papers, you will become ACCA affiliate. Once you become ACCA affiliate and you have 3 years of work experience, you will become a member. And then once you have 5 years of experience, then you will become a fellow member, which is called as FCCA. FCCA is the last level of membership. So I have more than 5 years of work experience. 5 years is the minimum qualification required. I am started my ACCA journey back in 2011 or 12, and then I've completed it quite early. No, not in 12. I think I started it in 2013. Yeah, 2013. Yeah, 12 and 13. And then by 2016, 2015 December, I finished ACCA. And I've been working in various corporates like Ernst & Young, EY, in the audit field. I've worked in JP Morgan in investment banking, and I worked in Goldman Sachs in the investment banking field. I was predominantly taking care of financial reporting and audit. I was taking care of financial reporting and audit. Okay. I've close to around 10 years of work experience. I also have a personal financial management company. So I have a asset wealth management company, consulting company that I run along with VGuide. Mr. Anshul Mittal is my partner, and we run this company together. So this is a very brief background about me. And I handle subjects in VGuide like AA, FR, SBR, and AAA. These two are online, and this is also online for the semester, and this is offline. Okay. AA, I take predominantly offline in our Cochin Center, which is situated in Kerala. This is a brief background about me. Now, I would like to know more about you guys who are there in the screen, okay, who have joined as a participants. Comment yes in the chat box if you're already pursuing ACCA. Comment yes in the chat box if you're already pursuing ACCA. Okay, so I can see many of the students are saying yes. Okay, so which means that's a different question. I should have posted this question in a different way. Comment someone who is not pursuing ACCA. Comment someone who is not pursuing ACCA. Comment no if you are not pursuing ACCA. I mean, if you have not started with ACCA. Okay, wonderful. All right. Comment yes or comment first if this FR is your first attempt. If FR is your first attempt. Okay, very good. Wonderful. First. All right. Okay. Okay. So some of you have not commented, which means that you have not attempted FR before, or if you have attempted it before and this is your second attempt or third attempt, right? Or more than first attempt. Okay. Comment if you are graduation. Just say graduation, graduate, grad. Just say grad, not graduation. Okay. Prasanna says no graduation. What about others? Anyone who's grad? Grad. Okay. Wonderful. Second year. Wonderful. Grad. Wow. Great. All right. Grad. Okay. Third year. Well, good. I'm getting a lot of feedbacks that all of you are, multiple years in the graduation, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy to see a lot of graduate students coming to ACCA and pursuing ACCA while they are pursuing their graduation, which is a very good thing because that's what I used to do. I used to be a graduate student and I started pursuing ACCA. And by the age of 21, after I completed 21, I joined a mid-sized firm, and then I joined EY. So it's very vital and very important that while you are pursuing graduation itself, you should start doing ACCA. If you are not a graduate student, I would recommend you to start graduation. If you need any support or details from me, please do reach out to us. Now, let me tell you something very specifically, which is all about FR. Okay. First and foremost, financial reporting. FR is all about financial reporting. Now, what is financial reporting? Okay. What is financial reporting? Now, we would have, an entity. Okay. Any organization or an entity. What does an entity does? Entity will do business. Right? Any entity you take, they will do business. Business means what? Buying or selling, right? Or production and selling. This is what they all does, correct? Now, facilitating this buying and selling, entity will need to have assets. To facilitate this buying and selling, entity need to have what? Liabilities, like they have to take loans, correct? To facilitate this buying and selling, entity would need to have what? Capital. All of these three things are required. Okay. Definitely, when you are having a selling, you might also incur expenses. So you might incur income, and you might also incur expenses. Okay. These are the major things that happens in an organization, right? So let us assume there is an entity called as A, right? An entity called as A. What they will do? They will sell to a customer. They sell to a customer. Now, this entity might be owned by shareholders or owners. They can be owned by the shareholders or owners. Now, as a shareholder or an owner, what is their intention? What is their thought process? That, okay, entity is selling products to the customers, and what they have to earn? They have to earn profits. Very simple, right? They have to earn profits. That's their only intention, correct? Any business, they want to earn profits. So when an entity is selling products and selling to the customers, and they might incur expenses, they might incur assets, they might incur liabilities, the owners would do what? They would have invested their cash or their money into it. Right? It's their own owners or shareholders' hard-earned money which they have invested as what? As a capital into the business. So as owners, they want to know how well the entity is doing, correct? How well the entity is doing. They would like to know, okay, you know what? Is the entity profitable? Or if the entity is loss-making, what is the status of the entity? As an owner, they would like to know the financial condition of the entity. Why? Because if the entity is loss-making, what is the point in investing further? What is the point in investing further? If the entity is profit making, then let's increase the profitability. Let's try to buy more and more products. Let's try to sell more and more products. Let's try to invest more and more money into the business. So this financial condition, if the owners would like to know the financial condition, then definitely in finance, there are only 5 areas where the information will be reported to. 5 areas where the information will only be reported to. Number 1 is what? Income. Any transaction you take in an entity, number 1 will be either income. Second, an expense. Third, an asset. Fourth, a liability. Fifth, capital or equity. That's it. That's it. Any type of transaction you take, these are the 5 broad categories we can split the transaction into: income, expense, asset, liability, capital, and equity. Okay, wonderful. We can split it into these transactions. And these transactions which are splitted follows a specific mode of reporting aspect. There follows a specific mode or specific steps of reporting. Let's say an entity sold a product to the customer. That is a transaction, right? Entity A sold $1,000 to customer. Now this is one transaction. Now this transaction will have to be reported somewhere, right? Why? Because ultimately owners would like to know what is the sale you have made and what is the expense you have incurred, correct? No? So it follows a specific steps. What are the steps which you would have learned in financial reporting? Any transaction you take, first it goes to, these are raw transactions. Okay. Where does it first go? It first goes to, okay, journal entries. From the journal entry, you prepare ledgers. From the ledgers, you prepare trial balance. And from the trial balance, what do? We prepare what? Financial statements. Okay? Financial statements. So every transaction goes through 3 or 4 stages, and this financial statements are called as reporting. You are reporting the financial condition of the entity via these financial statements. Very simple, nothing complicated. We would have studied a journal entry in our 11th standard, 12th standard. If you are doing Acca, FA, you would have studied this. Studied this in 11th, 12th, financial accounting, you would have studied. This also you would have studied in 11th, 12th, or financial accounting, you would have studied. Financial statement preparation, you would have studied in FA. Now you are going to study in deeper in financial reporting. Financial reporting. Now, you take a transaction. It first goes to journal entry. For journal entry, there is a debit as well as there is a credit. Then you put it into ledger. Then you put it into trial balance. From the trial balance, you prepare financial statements. How many financial statements? How many statements are there in financial statements? Number 1, statement of profit or loss. Number 2, statement of financial position. Number 3, statement of changes in equity. Okay. Number 4, statement of cash flows. And finally, notes to the financial statements. These are also called as disclosures. These are also called as what? Disclosures. Okay. Simple, right? See, the concept of financial reporting is very simple. All they want to do is take the raw transactions, put it into your double entry accounting system, and report it to your shareholders. Shareholders, once receiving this document, are very happy because they will know what is the profit of the company, what is the position of the company, what is the changes in equity of the company, what are the cash flows in the company, what are the notes to the financial statements of the company. Very good. Wonderful. Simple. That's all is for financial reporting? No. Why? What additional steps are you learning in financial reporting? Okay. Over the period of time, what happened? Over the last lot of years and years and years and years, from 1920s, 1930s, 1950s, companies have evolved significantly. Where are we standing? There are AI, artificial intelligence companies. There are service-oriented companies. There are online education companies like us who are using technology. Companies have evolved. When companies are evolved, transaction also changes, no? 10 years back, do we even imagine to study online like this? Not possible. 10 years back, did we think that in a phone we can buy a class? No, never ever. 10 years back, did we think that we can watch movies in OTT platform? No. Transactions are evolving. Isn't it? Transactions are evolving. So what happens? Reporting also might require changes. Reporting also might require changes. Why? Because otherwise, if the reporting does not change, if the reporting are the same, what happens? The data that will get reported, it will not be accurate and it will not be proper. Okay, how does that work? Okay, how does that work? I will give you a simple example. Okay, I will give you a simple example. Let us assume, okay, let us take a very simple example. I'm going to take a very simple example based on your past experiences, right? Let us assume there is a, I don't know if how many of you have heard this, there is something called as, I don't want to talk about this. Let us assume, yeah. Yeah. Let us assume there is a expense that we incur. Okay. This is worth of $12,000. Okay. The period of this expense was from 1st January 2024 till 31st December 2024. This is the period. Okay. This is an invoice. Now, on our year end is 31st March 2000. 31st September. I'm sorry. I don't want to put it as March. 30th September 2024 is my year end. Correct? 30th September is 2024 is my year end. Which means from 1st October 2023 till 30th September 2024, how many months are there? 12 months are there. This is my year end. Correct? Whereas, if you look at this expense, I am paying it on 1st January 2024. For how many months? 12 months I am paying. Correct? How many years are, how many months are coinciding between this and this? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Only 9 months, correct? So this expense should be split to how much? 12,000 into 9 by 12, which is 9,000. This will go to statement of profit or loss as an expense. And the remaining 3 months of 12,000 into 3 by 12 will be what? Will be prepaid expense as an asset. Okay. So if this particular situation was not there, just imagine 10 years back or 15 years back or 20 years back, if they didn't have this option of prepayment of expenses, we would not have recognized this, right? We would have recognized the entire 12,000 as an expense. So what will happen to my profit? My profit will go down. But why did prepaid expense came? Because they said that, see, I want to pay my expenses early. So let me pay it early. So I will create an expense and I will create an asset. Isn't it? Wonderful. Likewise, all of these situations have turned into something called as reporting requirements. Reporting requirements. In this reporting requirements, our basis or foundation is called as conceptual framework. Okay, let's imagine you are building a building. What is required? If the building is on a land and the foundation is not strong, what will happen? The building will collapse, isn't it? So, like that, in an organization for their financial reporting to be stronger, they said that let's prepare first a conceptual framework. Based on the conceptual framework, all this IFRS standards, international financial reporting standards were prepared. IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. What is this conceptual framework? Nothing but it's just the foundation of certain principles. What are the principles? Relevance, faithful representation, fairness. All of those comes from the conceptual framework. Matching concept, going concern concept, right? Going concern concept, matching concept, relevance principle, faithful representation, right? Prudence as a concept, substance over form, all of those came from the conceptual framework. They said that any standard you prepare, it should be following the conceptual framework. Out of the conceptual framework, you can beautify it and create specific areas of reporting for IFRS. That is what we are learning in financial reporting, IFRS. Financial reporting, we will be learning about the conceptual framework and the IFRS standards. The IFRS standards. Entirety of the financial reporting framework or financial reporting stands on this. And what does IFRS does? Very simple. IFRS created multiple standards. They created multiple standards. Which does what? Very simple. It gives just specific rules and principles. Specific rules and principle, which helps us to deal with various transactions. Which helps us to deal with various transactions. Okay? All right. Now, I will ask you a question. Let's assume this. I will ask you a question. Simple question. Okay. Nothing complicated. Right? I will ask you a very simple question. Very simple. Okay. Let us assume that you are all studying in a college. You are studying in a college. Let us be ABC college. Okay. ABC University. Wonderful. Right? Every year you pay fees, yearly fees. Okay. You paid the fees on 1st January 2024. Let us assume this is when you paid the fees. Okay. This is when you paid the fees. Now, your academic year, which is for every year, starts from the 1st January and runs till 31st December. How many months are there? 12 months. But you paid the fees on 1st January itself. Let us assume it was $1,000. You paid the fees to the college. How much? $1,000. Now, for this college, the fees that you are paying, the fees received is what? Is definitely an income, right? It is definitely an income. Everybody agrees it's an income? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, wonderful. It is an income. For the college, it's their money. Students paying the fees, it's their money. Okay. But my question is, when you receive an income on 1st January 2024, what is the journal entry? Very simple journal entry, no? Very simple. What is happening? College received fees on 1st January 2024. You debit cash. Why? Because you received money, no? College received money. I'm talking from the accounts of college, okay? ABC college. Received cash. How much they received? 1,000. What will they credit? What will they credit? If you say that they can credit revenue, it is fees, college fees. Let them credit revenue, no? As per the IFRS 15 standard, this is wrong. Incorrect. That's what we are going to learn in financial reporting. A simple transaction like a student paid the fees or someone sold products to someone. As per the required reporting standard, how are we supposed to report? That is what we are supposed to learn in this financial reporting. Why? Why? Guys, a bonus word for you. Remember this. Prudence. Conceptual framework talks about something called as prudence as a concept. It says that your financial statements should be unbiased, which means when it will be unbiased. When your liabilities, okay, and your assets, okay, your liabilities or expenses and your assets or income are not overstated or understated. Okay. And specifically, this standard says that your liabilities and expenses should not be understated. Assets and income should not be overstated. This should not happen. That is called as unbiased, which means if we are predicting or expecting a expense or a loss, recognize them in full. All your expenses or losses, recognize in full. But all your income, gains, or assets should be expenses, losses, or liabilities also. I'll put it as liabilities also. Income should be recognized only if they are virtually certain. That's what the standard says. That's what the conceptual framework says, not the standard, but the conceptual framework. So take a case of prudence as a concept. In this concept, it says that your liabilities and expenses should be recognized in full. Income, gains, and assets should be recognized only it is virtually certain. Okay. Should be recognized only if it is virtually certain. So which means that we can recognize a particular asset only if we know that we have received the money or we are going to receive something. We cannot recognize until and unless this. And based on this foundation, all international financial standards were created to ensure that there is no over accounting or overstatement of your assets and understatement of your liabilities. Because if I am a business management, what my intention would be? My intention would be to increase the profit, increase the income, reduce the expense, increase the asset, reduce the liabilities, isn't it? That would be my intention, because when I show this to my shareholders, they will give me more money. Shareholders will be happy. I as a management will also be very happy. That is what the standards are trying to avoid. A simple concept, yet very powerful. That is what we need to learn in this standard. Okay. Any questions in this or any questions so far?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So entire statement of profit or loss in financial reporting, we are going to learn about various standards, IFRS standards, and we are also going to learn about conceptual framework. For your financial reporting as a subject, disclosures are not examinable. Disclosures are not examinable, but you are required to know and required to prepare statement of profit or loss, statement of financial position, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows. And financial reporting as a concept or as a subject for ACCA, okay? It is a skill level subject, as you already know, it is a skill level. Now, what is skill level? Skill level means, okay, you learn and apply. That's what skill level means. This is not as per Prasanth, this is as per ACCA. Learn and apply. There is practical application. All these are practical application. What is practical application? What does that mean? Which means you will have to learn all the financial reporting standards, IFRS standards. You will be asked questions. You might have to prepare the calculations. You might have to report on the calculations, right? Based upon the questions will all be based on your scenarios. You have to read the scenarios. You have to read the scenarios. Take out the transactions from the scenarios and then apply to your requirement. This is what is called as learn and apply. There is a very positive thing about this. What is that? Because all these scenarios are so practical based, once you go for a job, you will understand how to account any type of transactions. Second, all these transactions, all these scenarios, you will be given that ABC company purchased this asset for 5 years is their useful life, like that they will show. And that's how you need to apply the requirement. And that is what ACCA says, that it is not just a technical subject where you just learn the skill and like your graduation, they will not be asking you direct questions. It's all scenario related for all the degree pursuing or graduate students. This is not a direct question answer subject. All you have to do is read the standard, understand the concepts, understand the accounting principles, and in your questions you have to read the scenarios, and very important is that you apply them practically in your answers or in your requirements. Okay, right? ACCS also says that it is one of the most important subject. It's a most important subject. And I would like to tell you something very honestly. I don't know how many institutions will say this, but as per ACCA's latest report, okay, India has the lowest pass percentage for financial reporting. India has the lowest pass percentage for financial reporting. Why? Because majority of the graduation students, when they study, or post-graduation students, when they study, they are exempted with financial accounting. So because of that, what happens is that they do not know the basics or foundation. So when they come to financial reporting, they don't know the basics, neither they don't know how to apply the requirements, due to which there are a lot of failure reports. I would tell you one easiest way that I used to follow to avoid this situation. I always, whenever I learn financial reporting, even today, I always think of what is the journal entry. And I always mention in any explanations that I'm going to give, I always point out and ensure that I mention this to ask this question: what is a journal entry? Trust me, once you know how to account, to read the IFRS standard and report the requirement, is going to be very easy. Because if you know how to account, to report it is easy. Because you just have to follow the standard. That's it. Okay. And standard, all the IFRS standards, always any transaction they get, they always says first, recognition. They talk about the recognition. Second, they talk about the measurement. And third, they talk about the disclosure. That's it. How do you recognize this transaction, whether it is an income, expense, or it is an asset or a liability? How do you recognize it? It will be into two aspects, initial and subsequent. Initial means when the transaction occurs, how do you recognize? When the transaction happens after the next year, how do you recognize? Similarly, measurement, how do you measure it initially? And subsequently, how do you measure? I will give you an example. I purchased a machinery in my factory. Initially, how will I recognize? I will recognize it as an asset because I can use that particular machinery for more than 1 year. Isn't it? I can use it for more than 1 year. Subsequently, how do I recognize? I can recognize it based upon the models of measurement that is given. What are the models of measurement? Initial, how do I measure? Cost model. Subsequently, what is a model I will use? I will use revaluation or revaluation model or cost model, subsequent measurement, right? In recognition, subsequent recognition, what should I follow? If let's say I bought a machinery and then I used to spend every year $1,000 to repair the machinery or service the machinery, that is not an asset, that is an expense. With that is all you will learn in the standard. All the standard, any expenses you incur with respect to the asset, initially, how do you recognize? Subsequently, how do you recognize? Third, how do you disclose it in the financial statement? And as I already confirmed and clarified to you, for financial reporting, you are not required to talk about the disclosure. You're not required to talk about the disclosure for financial reporting. Once you study and have a handhold for all of you students, once you have a handhold from a good faculty or from I'm not talking about myself, but any faculty or anyone, if you learned financial reporting very well, trust me, you can survive in accounting industry or in finance industry because it's one of the most important subject. It's a backbone of commerce. It's a backbone of commerce. So I know that many of you guys would not have learned journal entries. You might not have remembered journal entries. Write it down. I will tell you very simple way how to recognize your journal entry. Take any transaction. I told you that any transaction will go through income, second, expense, third, asset, fourth, liability, fifth, any capital or equity. If an asset, if anything increases, what do you do? If anything decreases, what do you do? Let's look at that. Let's see if you can answer. If an income increases, what we should do? We should credit. If an income decreases, what we should do? We should debit. If an expense increases, what we should do? Debit. If an expense decreases, what you should do? Credit. If an asset increases, what we should do? Debit. If an asset decreases, what you should do? Credit. If a liability increases, what you should do? Credit. If a liability decreases, what you should do? Debit. If a capital increases, what you should do? Credit. If a capital or equity decreases, what you should do? Debit. That's it. Once you know this is how you account for the transactions, it's going to be very easy. And this is very important for everyone to know before you even start learning about journal entries. Sorry, before you start learning about IFRS. Any transaction, how do you recognize? A debit and a credit. Debit and a credit. What do you debit? What do you credit? When an income increases, what do you do? When an expense increases, what do you do? Once you learn this, all your transactions, every standard is going to be easier for you because this is the foundation. This is the base. And based on this basics of principles is where financial reporting is developed or framed. Okay. All right. Any questions from anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to talk about specific to that of, I'm going to talk about FR. Let's talk about financial reporting. Seconds. Yeah, started working. Okay. Right. So if you look at here, financial reporting provides you the skills that is required to apply with the accounting standards and the conceptual framework in preparation of the financial statements and how to analyze and interpret the financial statements. This is very important. So these days, what is happening is that how do you prepare the financial statement is reducing slowly. More relevance and more importance are given to those type of situations or those type of more relevance and more importance are given to those type of situations where you actually analyze the financial statement and give your decision to the shareholders. Why is that? Because if I want to tell you what is happening in recent world, a biggest revolution that has happened is definitely something that is called as AI. See, even in our PDF, there is something called as AI assistant. Do you really think that going forward, certain preparatory aspects like preparing certain, transactions, preparing small things, we will be asked to do? No, AI will do it. What we should do? Analyze it, take a decision. You are required to look into the data and give your views, give your interpretation of what's happened. I will give you a small story, which is a real story that happened in NASA. What happened was, NASA wanted to launch a rocket to the space. Just before they launched a space, there was a pre-launch meeting. In the pre-launch meeting, NASA's senior directors, everyone were there. And everyone ran the math and gave it to the NASA's director and said that, see, 97% chances that this particular rocket will be successfully launching into the space, outer space, 97%. So the director asked 3%. Why? Why there is a failure rate of 3%? So he said that, so the mathematician said that we have not run the numbers. We don't know at this point in time. The reason why there will be a 3% chance of failure. So everybody thought that, okay, you know what, 97% there is a success rate. Let's vote for it. And everybody voted, yes, let's go for the launch. And they started launching the rocket. 15 minutes into the outer space, the rocket had a failure in engine and it bursted in the midair. So what does it tell you? Even small data like 3% sometimes becomes vital for decision making. And as an ACCA professional or as a finance professional, this is what we are required to do. We need to interpret the data and take decision making. If you don't know how to prepare the data, how do you interpret? And interpreting the financial statements, you might require to prepare ratio analysis. You might require to prepare cash flow, a lot of types of analytical points, and explain to the examiner, what does this ratios mean? And this is a sure shot 100% question that can ask for FR. That can be asked for FR. If you look at here, what is an overview? As I told you, based on the conceptual framework and the IFRS, we prepare financial statements. This financial statements, right? You might need to know how do we account for the financial statements. We might not to know how do we account for the financial statements. We might not want to know how do we account for the financial statements. We have to know how to prepare the financial statements. We also have to know something about just preparing the single entity financial statement. We are also required to know or required to learn how do we prepare consolidated financial statements. What is a consolidated financial statement? I will tell you. Once we know or once we learn how to account, prepare the financial statement and prepare consolidation, then focus is on how do we analyze it or interpret the financial statement. How do we analyze it and interpret the financial statement? Very simple. Right? Now, how do we approach financial reporting? First and foremost, what are the examination pattern? There are 3 sections for your exams. Section A, Section B, and Section C. Section A consists of 15 objective questions of 2 marks each. So I will write it here. Section A consists of 15 questions of objective marks for 2 marks each. Total will be 30 marks. Section B consists of 3 10-mark cases. Each case will have 5 OT questions of 2 marks. So section B will be scenario based. They will give you a scenario. Scenario 1, 5 marks. 5 questions. Scenario 2, 5 questions. Scenario 3, 5 questions. So section B will be 3 scenarios, which will have 5 questions each. And each question will be again 2 marks. So again, total will be 30 marks. So section A and section B will be in total 60 marks. So 60 marks, objective questions, objective type questions. Now, what is objective type questions? It's not easy. It's not easy. It is difficult. Unless and until you are strong with the concept, you will not be able to answer it. Or you might go wrong. And what are the different types of objective questions? I will also explain that very soon, very soon, right? And finally, there will be section C. Section C, you will be given, okay, 2 scenarios, which would be approximately 20 marks each, and total will be 40 marks. So total, all of the 3 added together, in total, it will be 100 marks. Total will be 100 marks. Now, where does this 2 scenarios comes from? Where does this 2 scenarios come from? It can be consolidation, consolidated financial statement, or single entity financial statement. You will be required to prepare consolidated financial statement or single entity financial statement. Second scenario will be based upon ratios or interpretations. So that's why I told you over the past, ratio analysis have been very important and very vital for your answering. So definitely ratio analysis will be definitely tested for your exam. Consolidation and single entity can be sometimes switched. Sometimes they will ask single entities. Sometimes they might ask consolidated financial statements. Now, what is consolidated financial statements? Very briefly, I will explain to you, very small way, small answer I will explain to you. Let us assume there is an entity called as P entity. Let us assume there is an entity called as P entity. It is the shareholder, okay, of another entity called as S entity. So P entity will have financial statements. S entity will also have financial statements. These two financial statements combined together, is called as consolidated financial statements. Very simple. Once you know to prepare single entity financial statements, you have to learn few steps to prepare consolidated financial statements. It's all concept related. How do we pass FR? Because there are so many standards, there are so many things. I always tell conceptual clarity. What does this mean? It means that you need to learn the standards, understand the standards, and apply them in your real examination. Very simple. Once you understand the concept, it's going to be easier for you to pass the paper. Majority of the students do not practice the questions. They do not understand the questions. Rather, they sit and think that they have understood the concept, but they have a lot of doubts, due to which they might lose marks while preparing. How much ever you are spending time to study, that much time you need to spend time to prepare for your examinations as well, which means practice questions. Practice your questions alone by yourself. You will definitely be able to pass the paper. A few frequently asked verbs in FR, just calculate, explain, and comment. Calculate means provide computations. Explain means make an idea clear, like try to explain how the standards or how this concept logically works. And finally, comment means express your opinion, including an explanation. Okay. This is what majorly you will be asked as a requirement. Calculate this particular question. Explain this question. Comment on this question or comment on this is what you will be majorly required to answer. And right. And ACCA Study Hub, you can use it to practice or you can use it to study. We also, all my recording lectures are completely based on BPP. ACCA Study Hub is something that you can use, which is free of cost as an ACCA student. You can use that to learn by yourself and practice all the quizzes. 100% of the syllabus are covered in my classes. All the videos have been uploaded. We follow something called as a hybrid model. What is a hybrid model? We learned that over the past, majority of the students who are pursuing ACCA are either graduations, or they are working professionals. We are unable to, and we want to provide quality educations to the students across India at an affordable price. But majority of the students, due to their work time, due to their study pressure, they are unable to attend the live sessions. So we created what? We created recorded classes. And in this recorded classes, right, we created a chapter by chapter approach or a step by step approach, chapter approach. And on weekends or on weekdays, any day according to the class timings, we conduct live sessions where we sit and do the question practice. We inform the students how they should study the chapters. There is a planner that we have created, which I'll be showing it very soon. There is a planner that I have created, which I'll be showing it to you very soon. And based on the planner, we will ask the students to focus on the planner and attend the live sessions. We monitor them, their growth. We have additional mentorship. Our mentor is called as Aman, who is always there to answer all your queries, give your doubts, etc. Otherwise, I am also there. I am a faculty who will be also answering your queries if you post it in your group. Mentorship is nothing but a handhold, because you as a student might have been like small doubts. You might be thinking, sir, why should I ask you? I want to ask someone else. You ask Aman, my mentor. He will give you additional question practice sessions and guide you where you are going wrong. He will review your answers and tell you what exactly is your focus area that you should focus on. He will handhold everything for you. Okay. Now, this is the BPP textbook, and this is financial reporting textbook. This is how we have used to teach the concepts. This is a textbook that we have used to teach the concepts. I have studied using BPP, and I suggest also BPP to a lot of students. Otherwise, you can use ACCA Study Hub as well. BPP is a learning content provider. They are called as content provider for this ACCA. There are two content providers. They are BPP and as well as Kaplan. They are BPP as well as Kaplan. This is an ebook, and why I recommend many students ebooks is because of the comfort. Like, you take this book, you click on anywhere, it goes to the chapter. If I want to highlight something, I can select this and I can highlight. I can select this. Okay. And I can highlight. Or if I want to add a note, I can add. So anything I want to do, I can study. It is very simple to study. Any ebooks will contain two things. One is a course book, which is your textbook, and there will be something called as practice or revision kit, which contains predominantly your questions from past exam and as well as from the BPP created questions. The one thing that I love about BPP in this is because if you look at here, all your questions, you can read the question, select the options and submit, then only your answer will come. And you will get to know your immediate answer. And that is highlighted also in green if it is correct, in green if it is correct, or in blue if it is, sorry, in green if it is correct, or red if it is incorrect. So you will get to know whether you are going wrong or going right. And this is the same way or a similar way how it is tested in your examination. And something that I would like to tell you is that when it comes to the examination, I will just very quickly show you what are the kinds of questions that can be asked. This is a specimen examination. This is a past examination. As I told you, there is section A. Section A will have multiple choice questions like this, like it's a radio button where you have to answer either one. There could be questions like this where you have to select the drop down 250, 400, 550, etc. There will be drag and switch option. I think this is not working in the BPP, but there will be drag and switch options like this. Drag and switch options. There will be options like this where you have to select with the drop down. There will be also input answers. Input answers. Here you have to input the numbers. So in objective, it's not our 12th standard or like our graduation where we have where we just select 4 choices, we select 1 no, and by fluke we will pass no. ACCA application, practical application. You have to input the number. If you input the number incorrectly, it will go wrong. If you look at here, they have not asked anything. It is mentioned in dollars, which means you have to write it in whole numbers. They might mention here very small something as million. So which means you have to write it in million. Okay, we have to write it in million. So like that, there are a lot of, Like that, there are a lot of aspects that you need to focus on. Okay, there are a lot of aspects that you need to focus on. And only if you practice well, you can score very well in your examination. One thing I can tell you is that, 60 marks is section A. And as you know, section A is easier to practice because it's all objective, right? So it's all small questions. If you score just above 40, if you score to target above 40, all you need is 10 marks from this. Is it impossible to score 40? Not at all. One of my student in my offline class in financial reporting, she scored 58 in mock exam. I was shocked to see her answer because 58 in scoring, mock exam, which means that even though she didn't attempt the section C, she would have passed. So the more you practice these questions, the more chances of you passing the examination. And trust me, it doesn't mean that, oh, you know what, I passed, attempted all the study hub questions. I've attempted all the revision kit questions. I've attempted everything. Now it is going to be easy for me. No, it's not like that. Why? Because again, they are testing for your practical application. So your questions can be from anywhere and you are still required to think and answer. So you have to apply your concept, whatever you have learned. That is what is very vital and very important for you you need to know. All right. Okay. Last and something that I would like to tell you is something that's called as ACCA's SBR examinable document. In this question, you can see what are all the standards that you might have to learn. Everything that is ticked mark over here means they are going to be examined for FR. Anything that is not ticked, which means they will be examined for SBR. For example, share-based payment, you don't have to learn. It's not applicable for FR, it's only for SBR. Like that, all of the questions are here. And something that very recently came in is IFRS S1, sustainability disclosure. I'm not going to go very deeper into sustainability disclosure. But what is sustainability? Sustainability means we have learned in 10th standard science, we need to create a sustainable living environment, which means everybody should have a space in the earth. Which means as a company, they are growing. What are they doing? Polluting the air by releasing toxic chemicals, polluting the water by throwing away plastics, polluting the land by throwing away wastages, polluting by the entire environment by creating plastic, polluting the society by creating uncorrigible or or a bad working environment or bad working conditions. So sustainability disclosures are very recent disclosures. In that, we are learning how we focus on other aspects than the financial element of the company. Like how much pollution are they creating? Are they protecting nature-friendly products? Are they supporting the environmental protection? Are they, cutting down usage of trees? Are they planting more trees? That is what sustainability talks about. Climate, are they supporting the climate change? This sustainability reporting came in after the climate, related practices. And as part of the climate organization, there was a climate committee that was formed. And that's how the sustainability reporting came into existence. Okay. Now, we will be starting from, chapter 1 to slowly we'll be going to each and every chapter. And each week you will be, if you are taking the relevant packages, you will be given, criteria and you will be given condition on what you have to do. I will also show you very quickly our planner that we have designed ourselves and we have created it for our students. Let me just open that. Yes, this is the plan. You don't need anything. You just need this, right? In this, we are giving you everything related to the exam, how to approach about the tutor, and every week, what are the chapters that you have to learn. chapter 1, chapter 2. Marathon videos is not there, but you can just learn the basics of F3. Week 2, chapter 3, 4, 5. Week 3, what you have to do. Week 6, practice section C single entity questions. Week 7, week 8, week 9, week 10, week 11, week 12. Like that, what you have to do. During the exam day, what you're supposed to do. Each and every aspect is given to you. Okay, each and every aspect is given to you. And in here, we are also giving you additional informations like technical articles. If you want to know more about the standards, ACCA given technical articles are mentioned here. After you study through or watch the videos and practice the questions, you can watch this. Read this. We have also mentioned about the syllabus changes. What are the major syllabus that has happened? We have also given you useful links, which will help you to focus on your exam, right? All of those aspects are given to you, right? And there are 3 packages that we give often to the students. 3 packages: a basic, standard, and premium. Basic, standard, and premium. If you are someone who is pursuing your graduation, or you have just completed your graduation, and you are new to the FR, I would definitely recommend you to go for premium. Because you are very new to the concept, you're very new to the syllabus, you're very new to ACCA, you're still pursuing graduation, you need our support or our handhold. And we are there for you. And that will help you to pass the paper in the first attempt. If you're someone who says that, you know what, I can't attempt it on a timely basis, I can't do this, I can't do that, you can take our basic and standard, which will contain only the recording. In basic, you will get the recording plus WhatsApp support. You will get mock evaluation, will be self-evaluation. In standard, you will be getting WhatsApp support, recording, mock evaluation will be one expert evaluation, which means we will ask you to attempt the mock, we will correct it for you and tell you where you are going wrong. In premium, you will get 2 mock, which will be evaluated by us. 2 mocks, which will be evaluated by us. There will be weekend live classes. There will be mentor support from our mentors who will be supporting you to attend the live classes and do the question practice. Additional question practice will be conducted by the mentors, where they will guide you and handhold you and take you and, you know, support you for any aspect. You will also need, if you need additional, you know, additional support system from our side, yes, you will be given additional support system as well. Plus, there will be my free Excel course, which will be given to you. Right? My Excel course, which will be free on for all the students who are taking the premium classes. Okay. If you feel that, yes, you would like to take up the classes, or if you have already purchased, thank you so much for your contribution. All the very best. Keep in touch with me. I'm there. Let me know if you're not part of the group. Please ping me. I'll be there to help you. But if you want to like to purchase our classes, if you want to know about more details, please call this number. Okay, I'll just mention the number here: 87148 77781 or 87148 77782. You can call this number, or you can visit our website. Go to ACCA English classes. I'll just show you that. All you need to go to is ACCA English Hybrid course details, and all you need to do is click on the buy now. And whatever is included in each packages we have mentioned here: basic, standard, and premium. Basic price is 4499, standard price is 7499, and premium is 13499. As you can see, premium is definitely increased, you know, much aspects, and it will help you as well. If you are a graduation pursuing student, or this is the first time you are going to write FR, I would definitely, and first time you're writing ACCA, in fact, definitely recommend you to take the premium subject. Do not fall short, because basic and standard is specifically created for those who are doing self-study, and standard as well who are doing self-study. Okay. All right. With that, we have come to a conclusion for our classes. I will also be telling you my personal number, which you can reach out to if you need any support, any questions, anything that is related to your ACCA journey or your careers, or anything that you want to know from me in detail. I'm happy to help you. If you don't want to contact my team, if you want to talk to me personally, I'm happy to be there. But just mind me, because morning time I'll be fully busy with the classes. Just ensure that you kind of message me before you take a call. With that, we have completed the session. Is there any questions that anyone would like to ask?
No, sir.
Let me just stop my screen. Any questions anyone would like to ask? Anything?
Sir, just required your personal.
I have already mentioned my number in the chat box. 96200 96363.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Someone started speaking. Anyone? All right. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much for joining. I wish you all the very best and everlasting success. Kindly reach out to me if in case you have any further questions. Thank you, guys. All the very best. Dhananjay, I have included my number. I hope you got it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you. Great evening. I'm sorry.
Thank you.